internet did a stanky. Hiccup. Wow. Okay, are we back? Hello from the... No! Hello from the other side! Lead a system meter conglomerate. Falls. Must have refreshed 1,000 times. Oh no, I'm sorry, RNG. Well, we're back. We're back. We did like a middle ground population boom regarding arcologies and giant structures, and it was like a specific class, and like only privileged few could live their entire lives in these mega self-sustaining structures. Guess my Adele parody can only last so long. Oh, wait. I know the song, but it didn't immediately click. Meanwhile, our space cousins grow smarter. We reach the industrial age. The Wandors start to study electricity, steam power, and machine manufacturing in the industrial age. Harnessing the power of radio waves might allow them to send signals into outer space, but this civilization could accidentally eradicate itself as weapons development thrusts forth. Interference with the planet poses a serious threat to the ecosystem that has sustained Wandorianity through the ages. I got that on the first try! Modern bourgeois society, with its relations of production, of exchange, and of property, a society that has conjured up such gigantic means of production and of exchange, is like the sorcerer, who is no longer able to control the powers of the netherworld whom he has called up by his spells. Karl Marx, German philosopher, 19th century CE. Look at their little bunny hats! Oh, that's so cute! It's so cute! I love it! I want one! I want the bunny Froggy hoodie! Froggy cousins, get in touch with me, please! I want! Sorry. This age sees an explosion in the Wandorian potential for telecommunication via radio waves. Mass-produced goods, including new medicines, could improve the lives of many. Hard work and ingenuity are needed to manage rapid urbanization without critically harming the planet. Train networks across vast swaths of Kepler-4 offer high-speed mobility for both freight and passengers. The Wandor focus their efforts on designing tanks, bomber planes, and simple automatic weapons for increased leverage against enemies. Naval warfare also gets industrialized. Naval? Kepler has, like, whole lava oceans. I'm not sure if... Because when I think naval, I think, like, water ocean. Maybe that's just my limited Froggy understanding. But yeah, let's go for wisdom. For good reasons. Wandorian democracy is... We like to see it. Industrialization gives the Wandor access to fossil fuels and mineral resources deep below the surface. Harm reduction. Democracy is settled peacefully. Resources. depleted land region on Kepler-4 recovers under the care of Wondorian agricultural architects. Meanwhile, with the corporate cars, a paradigm shift. Many early Kar lived a nomadic life, but nearly all have since become permanently settled. One large metroplex, however, has kept the old ways even as they've grown. They now live in a massive mobile group, whole buildings on wheels, rolling slowly from place to place to find the luscious oases and avoid seasonal storms. Your true home is in the here and now. Thich Han, Buddhist monk, 21st century CE. So along with, like, the cyberfied Mad Max, we now have, like, the giant mobile homes. The Wandering Metroplex is a cultural and scientific marvel, attracting cyberneticists, value engineers, and virtual reality artists from all over Gliese Sea. The nomadic city becomes very wealthy, prompting other conglomerates to try to emulate its success. Soon, hundreds of mobile metroplexes begin to roam the deserts of Gliese Sea. Cybermax, the thunder wings beating against the dome. Infighting among the mobile metroplex's executives caused it to split into many roving bands. Many turn to crime, using mobile attack bases full of cybernetic soldiers to prey on vulnerable communities. This one is maintaining the Mad Max vibes, the Cybermax vibes, but I earnestly think it's really cool. I want it to be the thing, a big thing for the cars. It makes sense because they're cars! A large metroplex on Gliese Sea stayed nomadic even into the Cyber Age. The slow-moving wonder was famous the world over and remained a popular subject for car stories for as long as there were car. Resource. Memes promoting environmental conservation. Get big. Utopia. The car developed new media to communicate the history of their civilization. And the conglomerates level up again to the Solar Age. Overcoming previous limits of propulsion. We read this. They look kinda naked. Vrooms vroom. Vrooms vrooms vroom while vrooming on massive vrooms. Okay. Techniques are developed to allow terraforming and colony construction in even the harshest environments in the Gliese system. Orbital space labs develop tech to allow Kar to expand even further into the cosmos. A fleet of city-sized battleships patrol the Gliese system to ensure that colonies remain loyal to the government on Gliese Sea. Terraforming equals always habitable. You know, the last interstellar trek didn't really go so well. So let's kind of temper our eagerness this time. How about? The car can now establish permanent solar colonies on other planets in the Gliese system. Just ignore terraform Mars. A charismatic car supervisor rises to power. Let's... Okay, the radio signal is not quite there yet. Going back down. The car established a new dominion. Oh, they're called dominions now. Harm reduction. Robotic infantry. Oh no. Supervisor rises to power. It's cockroach hell. Kepler is sending signals into space. The heads of state of Kepler-4 discover the power of propaganda broadcasted via radio messages. Wireless broadcasts reached countless Wandor with the latest political doctrine. In fact, these signals are so strong that they will reach outer space. And if all others accepted the lie which the party imposed, if all records told the same tale, then the lie passed into history and became truth. Who controls the past ran the party slogan. Controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. George Orwell, 1984. Wait, did the radio already pass through? Okay, we can't afford the huge broadcast. Propaganda is very effective on the Wandor, and they are flooded day and night with radio messages enforcing the current political doctrine. The signal is strong, drifting out into space to reach other systems one day. The heads of state promoting the propaganda fade away into history, but their manipulative and biased speeches leave Kepler-4's radio signals. The message travels through space, steadily drifting towards the Gliese system. Okay, so that would be good. At least. It would be in the direction of the cars. The Wandor revolt against the demagogues, refusing to listen to such blatant propaganda. The radio transmission is stopped and nothing is sent into outer space. You know, democracy seems like not a terrible idea to send into the cosmos. Let's chat with the cars. Off it goes. Alright. Wandorian heads of state used radio broadcasts as a manipulative propaganda tool. Those political leaders are long gone, but their propaganda signals wander through space in the direction of the Gliese system. Harm reduction, please. Conflict between two major democracies is settled peacefully. Life after death. Wild card. The Wandor establish a new democracy. Oh, free points. Is it possible that there are other planets like our own, orbiting distant stars? Once powerful democracy falls on Kepler-4. Harm reduction. Wandorian rifle soldiers lay down their simple rifles. Car dominions. Gliese is building spaceships! Many Car live in squalid solar colonies and overcrowded space stations. With no future for their offspring on Gliese Sea, they secretly repurposed discarded ships in preparation for a journey to the Boyajian star system. Butterflies have always had wings. People have always had legs. The reality of most of migration today reveals the unequal relations between rich and poor, north and south, whiteness and its others. Harsha Walia, author and activist, 21st century. With great effort, impoverished Car convert a transport vessel into a fully functional colony ship. Soon into its journey, the colony ship stalls in the Oort cloud of the Gliese system. The colony ship project inspires the destitute Car, who mobilize to build an entire interstellar fleet. Let's go! Alright, so the Vroom Vrooms vroom while vrooming on massive vrooms that are shipped on bigger flying vrooms. Vroom vrooms that vroom through space. But yeah, let's go all in. Worn down by life in crowded space stations and shabby settlements, outcasts from the Gliese system embarked on a clandestine shipbuilding project. This initiative spoke of their hopes for a better future in the Boyajian star system. The Outcast Fleet. The car Outcast fleet begins its journey from Gliza to the Boyagian stars system. Will we reach our destination safely? Time will tell. Oh, damn. Resource scarcity. Let's do something about that. Optimizing efficiency. Several car Outcast fleet officers removed. Fringe captain retires. This journey may be the noblest car endeavor of all time. We can hope. The Wanderer reached the nuclear age. When rocket technology begins to take off, the race for space dominance among the emerging superpowers of Kepler-4 is on. Jet planes increase the potential for travel all over the globe, and nuclear-age communication technology allows news and entertainment to spread via mass media. As the Wanderer delve into the secrets of the atom, the threat of extinction looms ever heavier on the horizon. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Robert Oppenheimer. Now they just vroom so hard they vroom into the sky! It's true. Okay. The Wanderer could achieve the dream of space travel in this age. With superhighways now connecting most cities, it might also be a good time to start thinking about reducing fossil fuel consumption. The Wanderer romanticized technology as they begin to see the rapid, drastic changes it brings about in their society. Inspired by science fiction across all media, the Wanderer hope to make contact with alien life forms, if there's anybody out there. And then, heading further down the warpath, the Wanderer can expect to see assault rifles, jet fighters, and napalm, not to mention the mother of all bombs. Yeah, that one. I thought that firearms didn't catch on in Wanderer history. One of these things is not like the other. Let's do the practical thingy-majig. The Wanderer maintained populous residential areas with large-scale energy production methods. Nuclear-age technology allows the Wanderer to extract radioactive materials and fossil fuels from the oceans of Kepler-4. Oh! Kepler is receiving signals from another star! Just in time. The competing factions on Kepler-4 set up sophisticated espionage networks and monitor each other's radio communications closely. One day they pick up something very different. The desert festival music from the Car civilization. I would say that since the war, our methods have become much the same. I mean, you can't be less ruthless than the opposition simply because your government's policy is benevolent, can you now? Jean Le Carré? British espionage author, 20th century. The espionage operatives believe this is a clever ruse from the opposing faction and ignore the desert festival music. A covert operation to obtain the desert festival music triggers an espionage war over research related to the Car civilization. Heavy militarization follows. And can't afford enthusiasm. Wah! Opposing espionage organizations pick up the desert festival music and race to decode the message from the Car civilization. Well, we tried. Multiple opposing espionage organizations operated on Kepler-4. As disinformation and confusion was their specialty, the Wanderer were so distrustful of information that they even ignored the desert festival music from the Car. It's got a catchy rhythm, though. Environmental protection measures. The Outcast Fleet. Injustice! During the endless journey of the Car Outcast Fleet, the outcast crew of the individual transporters each start to take on their own identity and culture. Over time, they begin to look on other transporters with suspicion, feeling that such outsiders are inferior and not to be trusted. Distance can breed suspicion, and it can make enemies hardly worthy of consideration as human beings, much easier to consider killing. Chasm City by Alistair Reynolds, British science fiction writer. They barely left the system before there's already trouble. Prejudice within the outcast fleet continues to fester. While mostly expressed as harmless jokes, there is an undercurrent of bitterness below the surface. Unchecked, intertransporter prejudice leads to open threats between the various outcast crew. Mistrust and violence begin to spread. The officers of the outcast fleet actively work together to fight these biases. Within a generation, they successfully unite the car of all transporters. Yeah, let's not, maybe. Centuries of isolation caused strong cultural biases and tribalism to emerge among the transporters of the car outcast fleet. This largely changed when a program of cultural exchange and personnel swaps was mandated. Tech. An important car fusion engineer dies. Just destination safely. Well, if you're prone to squabbles amongst each other, I'm not so confident. Keep yourselves in check. Another engineer died. Maintain utopia. Or, you know, friendship. The interior is completely redesigned. Okay. Oh, that radio signal is quickly reaching out the extinct energy signal. In the Gliese system, a major dominion falls from influence. An animal species on Rigel 7 shows signs of higher cognition. Over back on Ross, sapient life evolves on Virgo. Within the ruins of the Shivan civilization, a new sapient life form evolves. In a rare evolutionary event, the cycle of life begins anew in the Ross system. But which species will form a new Stone Age civilization on the ocean planet Virgo? The proof of evolution lies in these adaptations that arise from improbable foundations. Stephen Jay Gould, American scientist, 20th century. And might I say, Warrior Cats. It's not a series I ever invested into, but it seems like that's what that image was leading up to. Standard are the quasies, giant anemone animals wandering the floating seaweed continents of this ocean world. The ocean crawlers, hidden in ruins of the Shivans, these predatory venomous arachnids kill their prey quickly and without mercy. And the Frenner, inhabitants of the equatorial coral forests. These squid people form harmonic and peaceful groups, but I can't afford them, so... Shall we go with Space Scorps? For the sake of synthesis? Let's do it. The Car Arc ship once visited the Ross system and started a risky invasion. Yeah, they were both destroyed. On Virgo, the Crawler civilization is born. Random. Ocean crawlers develop a new form of artistic expression. Over on Gliese, reduction. Look at these dudes. Oh. Nice! Every year, the car manufacture a brand new line of robots. Okay, I need a moment. I need... This music frickin' slaps! Cars went from Mad Max to Transformers. Hell yeah! Okay. Awesome. Okay. Every year the car manufactures a brand new line of robots. Older, less desirable models tend to end up in junkyards on Gliesa Sea. That is, until a weird phenomenon hits the underground of the car's solar colonies. Some of the outdated machines join together on stage and sing powerful songs about the society that discards them, using their own robotic bodies as instruments. We are programmed just to do anything you want us to. We are the robots. Kraftwerk, German electronic music band. Or the AI revolution I was speaking of. No, that was before. This just seems like a robot punk movement. Robocore! The Robocore shatters the worldview of the Dominions with full synthetic force. All across the Gliesa system, the discarded robots are patched up again. Some of them will return to their fully functioning selves, and some instead decide to keep entertaining the car and their robotic siblings with new beats. Through the Robocore, request was made in such a striking way, their pleas for repairs are ignored by the car. As a result, the Robocore community need to help themselves, and with funds raised from their music, are able to conduct repair work on some of the broken robots. And the Robocore movement catches a zeitgeist moment and becomes extremely popular. The robot industries of the Gliesa system build tailor-made models for live musical performances, making the old guard and their cause obsolete. I'm tempted to splurge just for this new tune. I think I want to save up on synthesis, though. This is freaking cool, though. The underground Robocore movement has an unexpected history. Originally an organization of robot musicians pleading with Car to get broken robotic machines fixed, the Robocore used their own synthetic bodies as instruments to create an intense music. They inadvertently found a recycling movement. Just a moment! Okay. Car developed new media. Memes. Oh! The car receiving alien signals. The radio test signal from the Esh civilization reaches the car outcast fleet, but only fragments can be deciphered. Unsure of the intentions of these distant aliens, the fringe captains of the fleet's transporters are unable to agree on the best course of action. It's everything to me. Radio signals from an alien civilization are a sure way to get attention. Just be sure you're ready to take on whatever fish you've hooked. Admiral Aaron 606, Gillian hyperspace pirate, generation 7031 of the Trappist system. Initial conversations are heated, but soon the fleet's fringe captains set aside their differences. They publicly announce the radio test signal, promising to one day reach out to the aliens in friendship. An influential fringe captain successfully convinces the majority that the signal is a ploy to disrupt the fleet's mission. They purge all signal data from optical computers to prevent future conflict. Bitter words are exchanged between the fringe captains of the Car Outcast fleet, who are unable to agree on how to proceed. The information is never released publicly, serving only to sow discord among the leadership. Well, I can say I am now glad that I did not splurge on Robocore, as awesome as it would have been. Because now I can respond with this. The discovery of the radio test signal from Rigel first caused disagreement within fleet leadership, but eventually united the fringe captains. They were determined to study the mysterious signal and learn everything they could. Support systems are optimized by robotic technicians. A new generation of officers takes over system maintenance. Robotic infantry on the Car Outcast fleet are reassigned to non-military positions. What discoveries await us in the Boyajian star system? Several officers are removed from their posts. It's tempting to do growth, but then it would increase. It would basically hasten the any kind of resource crisis. So I just can't. Development. Wandorian states. Consumption. Chemicals used in industrial processes are beginning to erode the atmosphere of Kepler-4. Layers are so thin in some regions that holes are forming, allowing large amounts of UV radiation to reach the surface of the planet. Wandor, plants, and animals in these areas are all at risk. The hole in the ozone layer is a kind of skywriting. At first it seemed to spell out our continuing complacency before a witch's brew of deadly perils. But perhaps it really tells of a newfound talent to work together to protect the global environment. Where is that now? Carl Sagan, American astrophysicist. Industry is favored over environmental protection. Over time, holes in the atmosphere render parts of Kepler-4 unlivable, causing mass migration and death from exposure to radiation. Dependence on industrial chemicals slows the momentum of regulation. While they are eventually phased out, severe damage is done to several population centers on Kepler-4. Nuclear scientists convince Kepler-4's governments to ban the chemicals responsible for the destruction of the atmosphere. Boop. We want the biggest utopia and the most prosperity for the space cousins. Holes in the atmosphere were slowly repaired over time after nuclear scientists convinced the world's governments to outlaw industrial chemicals. The erosion was stopped before any permanent damage was done. Let's do the smort. Nuclear scientist is widely circulated. Harm reduction. Wandorian states is settled peacefully. Resource boom. Movies represent harmony. Wild card. Residential area becomes a center of trade and commerce. Nuclear disaster pollutes an entire land region and exposes Wandorian inhabitants to radiation. Oh dear. Conflict between states is settled peacefully. Let's zoom out. Get a few more syntheses. Meanwhile, with the crawlers, depopulation. The ocean crawlers tend to avoid settlements and instead roam the regions of Virgo alone. They rarely meet others and mate infrequently. Offspring are sent away as soon as they reach adolescence. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. Francis Bacon, English philosopher, 16th century CE. Many ocean crawlers prefer to be alone. Surviving and caring for your offspring is much harder for these loners, so population numbers start to decline. We can't prevent. Loneliness overcomes the ocean crawlers, so they reject their solitary lifestyle to once again band together in clans. The urge to wander alone is overwhelming! All tribes and settlements are disbanded, and the ocean crawlers only meet other members of their species once or twice in their lives. I think just the same as the prey, we're probably going to use these space scorps to farm some points. The ocean crawlers were a species of solitary wanderers. Bowing to no leader's command, each was free to follow their own inner law. They were also free to starve to death or succumb to predators, without other ocean crawlers annoyingly looking after them. Ocean crawlers develop a new form of artistic expression. Found a promising new cave island. Build an astonishing monument. I don't care. Where will the gods lead us? Outcast fleet officers are removed from their posts. Continental drift creates a new landmass on Boyajian Prime. Plant growth on Vexus slowly changes the planet's atmospheric composition. In the Dominions, depopulation. Over the last centuries, the Car constructed many space stations as hubs for interplanetary travel routes. They have become a home for many in the Gliese system, but since long-term maintenance is costly, these population centers are starting to decay. Right now we are at such a stage in the operation of Mir that any of its systems has the right to fail at any time. Yuri Koptov, Russian Aerospace Agency Director. The Car build complex engineering robots capable of maintaining and repairing the old space stations and themselves. The population numbers fall steadily as Car space stations become uninhabitable. The Car have to completely abandon the decaying space stations after their population shrinks drastically due to expired life support systems and broken interplanetary infrastructure. We don't want that. Let's... I would only be left with 7 synthesis if I spent it on prevention. Sadly, some of them will probably have to go bye-bye. Gliese system. In the Gliese system, the Car build large numbers of advanced robots. In the Gliese system, a major dominion falls from influence. Mourn the death of a beloved supervisor. And 40. Let's go. Tau City 3 slowly changes atmosphere. A formerly populous species is exterminated by an aggressive predator on Boyajian Prime. Natural global warming dramatically impacts the climate on Trappist Prime. A minor planet is destroyed by an asteroid collision in the Vex system. Meanwhile, in the Outcast fleet, armed conflict! Oh goodness, grievance. Kaboom goes the planet. Faced with supply shortages, one refitted transporter turns to the rest of the Car Outcast fleet for help. When no one offers aid to the alien craft, They send robotic infantry to capture a refitted transporter and take supplies by force. I love armed conflict. There's nothing better than hitting people with someone else's arms. Dwarf Fortress. Driven by hunger, we made a desperate attempt on a vessel twice our size. In no time at all, we had laid glorious waste to the security staff. Unfortunately, they had taken cover in the dry goods hold. Admiral Aaron 606. Oh, boy. The robotic infantry successfully board the ship and plunder it. Boarding attacks to steal ship equipment become the norm, with many casualties. The robotic infantry take the main ship by surprise and fight their way through the refitted transporter before eventually falling to energy rifle fire. And we can't afford peace. The robotic infantry are captured before they can breach the refitted transporter, and resources are finally sent to keep the peace. If everyone steals from everyone, isn't that a form of communism? It makes you think. And then you realize, technically speaking, all property is theft. Equal opportunity thieves, yeah. Robotic infantry. Yeah, let's maybe not do total war. A fight aboard a refitted transporter was the start and end of piracy in the Outcast fleet. After this incident, boarding parties without clearance were destroyed immediately. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. Space Hell mode on cars is so silly. In Tau Ceti, storm the size of Tau Ceti 3 forms over a gas giant. Volcanic activity, new island from the oceans. Animal species show signs of higher cognition. Space cousins! In the digital age! The Wandor are now connected via complex computer systems, satellite networks. We read all this. Wandor continue their exploration of space with renewed vigor. Navigating the pitfalls of mass consumerism, city planners explore possibilities for genetically modified crops that are safe to eat and also sustainable for farmers and the environment. Digital technology applied to warfare. Yeah, much of this is already... you already read. We're pretty good on population and resources, so let's do some smart stuff. The Wandor can now connect large metropolitan areas on a global scale. Digital age technology allows the Wandor optimal access to all Kepler-4's resources. Could stand for a little less growth. Massive hurricane destroys a large metropolitan area on Kepler-4. Oh man, that made me think. If there's still like a lot of water oceans, but at the same time there's still like a lot of volcanic activity across the planet, hurricanes must be an extremely common occurrence on Kepler. Dang, look at our space cousins just gripping for dear life onto life. New metropolitan area. Hurricanes are just a seasonal rainfall. Meanwhile, over with the crawlers, enlightenment. The ocean crawler nests want to reform the way they provide for their people. Systemic inequity needs to be changed because the effect of innate injustice is a heavy burden for the unprivileged inhabitants of Virgo to bear. Will the leaders of the day bring real change or only empty words? Freedom only for the members of the government, only for the members of the party, though they are quite numerous, is no freedom at all. Freedom is always the freedom of dissenters. Rosa Luxemburg, German revolutionary. Leaders love to talk about justice and equality, but none of them manage to make any meaningful changes. Much needed reforms are implemented by crawler leaders, but the unprivileged and outcasts still struggle. The nests undertake countless reforms to reshape society for the better. Gimme them tasty space points. Hashtag freedom only for people who can sing the lyric to All Star. Cave paintings from the Crawler's Stone Age describe the leaders of Virgo as heroes fighting for justice and equality, but they never fulfilled their promises to change the systemic problems of their nests. Will enemies from the beyond conquer our world? You're thinking too big for Stone Age. Mourn the death of a beloved leader. Random. Use cave paintings to spread lies and superstition. Do the spirits look on us with kindness? I'm sorry, did you say something? Death of a beloved leader. Look on us with kindness. Somebody once told me the world was going to frog me, but I ain't the sharpest tool in the pond. Thank you. Innate injustice causes suffering and despair among the crawlers. Back to the car. Power. The car began constructing autonomous and highly intelligent combat machines. Large military battle bots are expected to dominate the battlefields of the Gliese system. The Vaha colony is guarded by sophisticated battle machines. No organic soldier could wait patiently buried underground for decades and then smash any intruder within seconds. Governor Vaha, Gorgon, planetary tyrant, 507 generations after Gorgon, Epsilon Indi system. AKA, instead of war, they decide to host Robot Wars or BattleBots, the TV show. Ha! BattleBots. The machines often stop fighting because they calculate that intensive combat will not lead to satisfying results in the long run. The BattleBot project is abandoned. Cold, brutal mechanical fighters escalate the militarization of the car. Living armies don't stand a chance against the powerful robots. The BattleBots are ruthlessly efficient, intelligent, and adaptive. All other military ground vehicles, soldiers, and even car police forces are quickly replaced by robots. Too smart for human. I think, just as a little shout out to RoboCore, it can do a little bit of like anarcho-roboism as a treat. Shout out command. Shout out to Robot Core. Alright. Gliese BattleBots were implemented to destroy one. Oh. Yeah. Robotic infantry lay down their energy rifles. That's good. Car Morn, beloved supervisor. We are at a honking 80 synthesis. Planetary engineers embark on the cleanup of a polluted sea region. Almost surpassing the solar age. Let's bump it up. Machine language developed by the car optical computers of the Gliese system becomes the dominant form of verbal communication. New age! The light speed age! Racing into the light speed age, interstellar journeys are shortened from centuries to mere decades. Car civilization sets new speed records in areas such as quantum state computing, light jet manufacturing, and mining for resources from faraway planets. For the moving organism, the lengthy time of the journey was a mere instant, provided the motion took place with approximately the speed of light. If the stationary organism is a man, and the traveling one is his twin, then the traveler returns home to find his twin brother much aged compared to himself. Albert Einstein, German theoretical physicist. The smart human. Light speed age, where time stops. Light jet manufacturing, which is literally just slightly faster than modern printer. Oh, dang, 60? Cost of 60? The car achieved true mastery of space travel, and colonial development crosses major hurdles. The civilization also makes leaps in genetic modification and cloning, perhaps even creating new life forms such as trash-eating plants. With the ability to conduct outer space archaeology expeditions, Car begin to understand their role in the galactic dance of existence. Questions about alien life give rise to the study of xenogenetics. And when exploration and travel bring them in closer contact with alien species, the Car accelerate their arms race to light speed. Wait, if they get to light speed travel, wouldn't they reunite with the Lost Fleet and the last Ark? Well, the Ark is already destroyed. You know, they'd be, I'm trying to think. Yeah, the Ark is already destroyed, and there's no way to travel into the past. Was it destroyed yet? Distance plus time equals maybe not. The time has already passed. I think let's save on the points, but make them super smart. Overcrowding and yep. Lightspeed age technology gives the car the ability to harvest resources from gas giants in the Gliese system. Yeah, like Car Ark ship once visited the Ross system and started a risky invasion. Both the Prey civilization and the Car Ark ship were destroyed in this conflict. And then the crawlers came up from the depths. The ship's take has passed, but if something faster moves up on it, it might get there before the other's time runs out. The time has already run out! Or, wait. If something faster moves up on it... Oh, wait, are you talking about... You're talking about the Outcast fleet? Like, yeah, they could do that. Easy. It's just not the Ark. They could probably make it to the star system before the fleet could. New mountain range. The number 83 makes me laugh because it's literally just the numerical equivalent of oh whoa. The two eyes and the cat smile. Okay, if John leaves Earth traveling at half the speed of light and Sue leaves Earth traveling at the speed of light, Sue will arrive before John ends his journey. Thus, if John dies on the way, Sue might be able to save them if they make it in time. Okay, I understand now. Well, I don't know. For all intents and purposes, I'm going to establish that the canon is the first arc is already the first arc is already long destroyed, and the crawlers are what is on the planet now. But like, yeah, if the Outcast fleet theoretically like has a problem that results in the destruction, then yeah, that could work. This is a beach. Don't worry, I like to think. Enemies from beyond conquer our world. Speaking of the Outcast fleet, injustice! As resources slowly become scarce among the Car Outcast fleet, murmurs begin among some Car that they would have a better chance of surviving if the fleet's resource storage weren't spread so thin. Soon, fringe captains begin eyeing each other suspiciously, each worried that the other will launch a preemptive attack to seize the Outcast fleet's materials. Fleets. If we give up, we will be expelled from the Garden of Eden. But if someone has to be expelled, the Garden of Eden has a limited capacity. Dark Forest by Lucy Shin, science fiction writer. Okay. Tensions remain strong, but largely unspoken among the Outcast fleet. Communication and morale both suffer due to strained relations between the transporters. Car crew counselors begin fleet-wide communications to directly address the crisis. Slowly, a culture of trust is built, and the fears of the Outcast crew are allayed. The officers of the Outcast fleet officially end friendly relations with one another. Only the threat of mutual destruction prevents war from breaking out. Well, not that. Yeah, I think, everybody get along. Seriously. Fears of intertransporter attacks plagued the Car Outcast fleet for years. These tensions were eventually diffused by an influential crew counselor, whose compassionate speeches did much to soothe the Outcast fleet's fears. Counselors inspire the codification of peaceful first contact protocols. Probably a good call. Yeah, let's zoom out and check on our space cousins. Establish a new group. Oh, they're groups now. They can never settle on one term. It's always constantly evolving. Social engineers examine old propaganda broadcasts to teach the Wanderer about manipulative leaders. Even if aliens were to visit the Kepler system, are we sure we would recognize them? I'm pretty sure. Resources? Environment protection? Hey, new tech age! Cyber age. With rapid advancements in artificial intelligence and technologically augmented Wanderer, the civilization undergoes drastic change and reaches new milestones in science, engineering, and the arts. He still dreamed of... I already read this. I don't remember if I read this. Okay. The Wandor prioritize military power. No. Wandor focus on innovations in engineering. This includes finding the balance between consumption and resource preservation, advancing the infrastructure of their megacities, and exploring the galaxy beyond Kepler. Crossing into the realm of AI, Wandor now have the ability to vastly improve their societies and facilitate communication with faraway beings. However, new technologies present great risks as well, so a little extra wisdom couldn't hurt. Let's go with a little more practical. It's good for long term. Wandorians. And that's old history. Can now build vast metroplexes, urbanizing the entire surface of Kepler 4. Wandor access to resources on nearby planets and moons. Cybernetic soldiers capture an influential metroplex. Oh dear. Meanwhile, knowledge on Ross. At the rite of passage during adolescence, the crawlers tattoo their skin with vivid details about the history and knowledge of their people. The art of creating these tattoos is passed down from generation to generation. In Polynesian culture, we have a word called mana, which means power and spirit, and it is the basis of my tattoo. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, American actor, and national treasure. Creating and wearing story tattoos are among the highest honors of the ocean crawlers. Within a few generations, everybody is completely covered with the sacred images that vastly expand their society's awareness. The lore embedded in their tattoos help the ocean crawlers to understand their world and preserve knowledge. Their plant-based inks are only semi-permanent, but the designs are studied for as long as they are visible in order to retain the lessons of their ancestors. Soon the ocean crawlers change the tattoos to make them prettier and more impressive. The cultural wisdom becomes obscured and is quickly forgotten, like a prayer which is recited but not understood. We can be nice to the crawlers just this once. Help them advance just this once. The inhabitants of Virgo are now known as the Marked, due to their intricate and distinctive tattoos. And realistically, like, if these loner crawlers span the entire world, hardly ever running into each other, like, those tattoos are going to be crucial to, like, maintaining any semblance of society. But it seems like they still have some capacity for collective body. I do not know, like, the ins and outs. And they have advanced to the Bronze Age. In the Bronze Age, the ocean Marked begin testing the limits of their planet's generosity by cultivating crops, raising animals for food, and clearing forests in order to build primitive cities. Early mining and metalworking skills allow them to craft better weapons and tools, and they learn how to document knowledge via written language. Bronze is the mirror of the form, wine of the heart. Aeschylus, 5th century BCE. New techniques and tools allow the ocean Marked to explore new areas, preserve their natural resources, and develop early infrastructure. Defense becomes increasingly necessary as ocean Marked begin exerting more power over one another, and hunting bands evolve into primitive armies. The ocean Marked apply their newfound knowledge and communication skills to societal improvements in the budding disciplines of medicine, law, and philosophy. We siphon. The ocean crawlers were a species of solitary, Ocean Marked can now build stable cave islands on Virgo and sustain them with agriculture. Provides the ocean Marked access to minerals on the surface. Establish a new region. The car alliances. Facing extinction. A murderous car mass scientist engineered a viral contagion that is slowly infecting the whole population of Gliesa. Since it is symptomless, infected car do not detect its presence. The virus is constructed to transmorph on a specific day, killing its host immediately. Like a virus needs a body, a soft tissue feeds on blood. Someday I'll find you. The urge is here. Björk, Icelandic singer, 21st century. Doomsday virus. A few spaceships and desolate habitats are isolated from the ultra-contagious disease that kills off most of the car. When the Doomsday virus is triggered, no car are spared a tragically toxic death. Not even the insane mass scientist who planned it all. So basically cars turn mad. It's the curse of the were-car! I remember that Futurama episode. Virologists find the hidden pathogen and distribute downloadable inoculations on the molecular network to prevent any harm from the pre-programmed mutation. Yeah, let's not, maybe? Let's not deal with any of this bullshit. It came out of the fucking blue. Okay. After a haunting encounter with a deadly morbid virus that lurked inside them undetected, the car developed a paranoid phobia of synthetic diseases. They could only feel safe by scanning their bodies daily with complex and costly diagnostic equipment. Charismatic car delegate rises to power in the Gliesa system. Conflict between two alliances is settled. Can the car survive in the Gliesa system by just sending all their outcasts to the stars? Time will tell! But let's check in on them. Alright. You know, maybe if we bumped up their tech level to light speed. Yeah! Maybe they get there faster. Racing into the light speed age, interstellar journeys are shortened from centuries to mere decades. The car on board the Outcast fleet set new speed records in areas such as quantum state computing, light jet manufacturing, and mining for resources. More tech might mean survival. True. Lightspeed, blazing chronic through the galaxy, hydro, doja, chocolate tieweed. Or we might be sipping on gin or Hennessy. Fuck that. Wear that new shit, the chronic iced tea. By Dr. Dre, American rapper. Alright. The Outcast fleet achieves true mastery of space travel. The crew also... We read that. We read everything. So let's go for advancement. More resources. Dr. Dre, the greatest doctor humanity has ever produced. New car Outcast fleet fringe captain is appointed. Peace. Space Marines in the Outcast fleet are reassigned to non-military positions. Stand for a little degrowth. Engaging in military training exercises. Wandorian conglomerates face consumption. The Wandorian conglomerates finds out that controlled eruption of certain volcanic regions on Kepler-4 provides an easy way to get access to deep ores. Wandorian eco-engineers, however, warn about drastic consequences for the environment of the primal world. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make them go, oh, oh, oh. You're gonna leave them falling down, down, down. Alright. Access to deep ores can be gained easily if you just rip up as many dormant volcanoes as possible. Amazingly, no Metroplex blows up during the Wandorian eruption frenzy, but the air and landscape of Kepler-4 are transformed forever. In unpopulated regions far away from Wandorian Metroplexes, controlled volcano eruptions are triggered through remote detonators. The landscape overflows with lava, and the nature of Kepler-4 pays the price for the comfort of a few automated mining machines. The idea of blowing up active volcanoes sounds extremely appealing to a lot of executives, but in the end, no conglomerate actually dares to do this. That's just unrealistic. We can have a little bit of fire. During the Cyber Age, many automated mining machines were constructed near artificially erupted volcanoes. Although some Wandor protested, executives favored the development of the Metroplexes above the preservation of Kepler-4. The environment of Kepler-4 slowly recovered from the massive lava flows, but scars are still visible. If an alien civilization does exist somewhere in the galaxy, it is very likely to be a synthetic one. The car would agree. But, you know, they're saying, like, it doesn't even take, you know, an alien race for that to be true. They're right underneath our feet. Our wings. In the Kepler system, major conglomerate falls. A little more utopia, maybe. New media to communicate the history of their civilization. Could we defend ourselves against an alien invasion? Well, you haven't really had to worry about that. Meanwhile, with the marked, a paradigm shift. With city-states growing and rulers trying to unify their people, the concept of a single god becomes more and more attractive for the ocean marked. Having people rally around one religion is deemed to be very effective to advance a society, and so monotheism is proclaimed in Ross. We encountered a curious hive deep in one of the ash deserts. They not only pray to just a single magma guardian, but they have the audacity to believe that all other deep guardians are just imaginary figments. Hive Queen Whirl, Artemi, Emperor, Second Cycle, Wormwood System. Monotheism becomes dominant, but different interpretations lead to the development of separate sects. These exclusive groups, led by sages, start to build many new settlements all over Virgo. Can't afford cultural ascent. Monotheism takes Virgo by storm, and the ocean marked enjoy the new communal rituals that go with it. Soon a caste of sages emerges that helps the ocean marked interpret and live by the scriptures of their one god. Conflicts arise between polytheists and monotheists, both sides equally stubborn in their beliefs. Oppression of people of a different faith becomes the norm. Yep. Give me that money. The strict introduction of monotheism on Virgo did not appeal to everyone. Many polytheists refused to convert and were subsequently oppressed. Small groups of monotheistic sages tried a different approach, traveling to polytheistic communes to patiently teach them the ways of the one god. Not all of them returned home. Once powerful region falls. Use writings to spread lies and superstition. Devastating flood drowns many marked. Wait. They're an aquatic species. What the hell are you talking about? Do other creatures like us exist in lands far away? Establish new region. Leader rise to power. Can we get to 75? Life after death. Nope. Meanwhile, the car alliances reduction. Society's recent exploitation of gas giants has also made them a prime tourist destination. This fascination with the exotic cloudscapes has also produced petitions by conservationists to establish protective hubs in Gliza before industry or tourism ruin these picturesque vistas permanently. Why does every guy my dating AI pulls for me have a hologram of them posing in front of the same stupid cloud overlook on Omega 6? I'm getting this stupid thing reprogrammed. A devastating lava flow. That could be the case. Unknown network user, phase 4573 in the Gehenna system. Huh. That is a thought. If industrialization would forever change the look and appearance of, like Earth's habitats, surely the same principle applies to planets. And I mean, they have the tech to do it quickly. Terrifying conditions overwhelm the aerostats, and one of the pilot projects is torn apart in a storm, killing many of the engineers who had been working on the project. The new aerostats develop a research role in gas giant economy, preventing short-sighted exploitation, increasing long-term sustainability of resource harvesting. The aerostat habitats are a huge success and are adopted by other settlements throughout the Gliza system, reducing resource demands. Let's go! Gas giants in Gliza benefited from conservational aerostats that kept certain areas of the planets pristine and ecotourist friendly. These floating bases allowed for safer and more efficient development of the planet. That's not what I wanted. How are the cousins doing? Harm reduction. Cybernetic soldiers lay down their impulse rifles. Computer simulation. Alien invasion. Let's farm the marked a little bit. Region falls. Marked sculptures represent harmony. Yoink. The alliances reach new technologies. The Singularity Age. The car create machines capable of recursive self-improvement. These constructs can build even more powerful copies of themselves autonomously, growing their potential with each generation. The path to true artificial intelligences is clear. Can we drop the artificial intelligence? It's a bit like me calling you a meat-based processing system. On the Steel Breeze by Alistair Reynolds, British science fiction writer. Adaptive robotic soldiers upgrade themselves after every conflict, soon evolving into the most deadly fighting force ever created by the car. Car singularity, let's go! Machines transform themselves to take on tasks such as cleaning up the environment, building car habitation, and acting as caretakers for the elderly. Self-learning AI is able to process data and innovate faster than any car scientist. Breakthroughs in all fields of research happen almost daily. So we need 4 more Singularity Societies for final tech level. So we are literally approaching endgame. we can do this. I think population and resources are doing pretty good. In the Lightspeed Age, Kara traced the paths of other civilizations through history, hoping to find lessons applicable to their own. Research in bioengineering inspired living artworks, and extended longevity gave Kara time to ponder the ethics of that. In the recesses of my mind, I am reminded of all tomorrows and the gravitals. Oh dear. The car can now build large orbital habitats monitored and maintained by artificial superintelligences. Singularity Age technology enables the car to transform waste materials found throughout the Gleeta system into valuable resources. Are we living in a computer simulation? I imagine it would be by your own hand at this point. Growth. The car of the Outcast fleet raised new offspring during their journey across the Boyajian star system. The birth rate of the Outcast crew rises faster than old car perish. Is there enough space on their Lightspeed transporter to host everybody? The urge to deal with rising population numbers lets people do monstrous things to each other all over the galaxy in many different times. Generational ships amplified these issues, and the fate of many future generations was decided early on. Shamanul. Transgalactic Citizen 16.230 after the galactic unification. On board the Warp Commuter. Oh, they're almost there. The car are cautious not to overpopulate the car Outcast fleet. The offspring of the Outcast crew are welcomed into their ranks, but many officers have mixed feelings about the new generation. When do they not? Out of concerns about continuous growth, the fringe captain of the car Outcast fleet declares a strict one offspring per death program for the Outcast crew. The next generation thrives aboard the car Outcast fleet. The old Outcast crew is full of hope and prepares their Lightspeed transporter to house many more car. Yeah, at 3.3 billion, I don't think that's necessary. Sorry, flying cars. One offspring per death was the ironclad rule implemented by an old fringe captain of the car Outcast fleet to prevent continuous growth to future car generations on board. Fringe captain is appointed. They're getting ever closer. Oh, destination reached. The car arrived at the Boyajian star system. The car Outcast fleet approaches the goal of its journey, but the conditions of the Boyajian star system are unwelcoming for the car. The fringe colonists have to create a vast network of small shielded settlements scattered throughout the solar system to provide enough resources for the colony. Thunder, I wonder, a storm is coming soon, to blow us all away like dust on the moon. Pet Shop Boys, Luna Park, 21st century CE. There's like a little crick in my back, just under my whatever it's called, but like the shoulder bone, just underneath, just underneath it, and I don't know what to do about it. Thank you, RNG, for stretch. I will do it. See if I can figure out a way to pop this crick.